everybody, it's Jason Blaha with Ice Cream Fitness here. Yesterday I made a video that in some ways was slightly controversial, and I think the majority of my subscribers kind of understood what I was doing, but a few of the comments made me realize that some of my subscribers didn't understand the point I was making. And I want to cover that in just a little more detail. But hold on, let me give you guys a bicep shot first. Alright, the point I made, and by holding up a bottle of testosterone, was to get people's attention because people aren't used to seeing things like that. And what I wanted people to understand is the relationship between testosterone levels and muscle growth. And the point I was bringing across is that anyone who is so obsessed with their testosterone levels or HGH levels that they are willing to make major lifestyle changes or start taking tons of supplements that supposedly boost these things to exogenous levels and so on and so forth, do not have the mentality of a drug-free lifter or a natural bodybuilder anymore. And at that point, psychologically speaking, they might as well already be on gear. And the reason I say that is because people are obsessing over hormones that they only know about the anabolic properties of because of people using them exogenously, of people using drugs. That's the only reason people even understand the anabolic properties of these hormones. That's where they get all this information. That is why supplement companies even market products to try to boost these things, because they know that the synthetic versions used in large amounts produce muscle gains. And they know that the average person knows that. But the reality is, you cannot, through anything that you do, short of taking drugs, you cannot increase your testosterone levels or HGH levels enough to make a measurable change in muscle mass. Period. And all of the science supports that. I really don't have time to dig up 15 peer reviews to link to people. I'm a busy man myself. So if someone really wants to see studies, just Google the meta-analysis on testosterone or HGH production and hypertrophy. As far as the ones from training, it's pretty easy to find stuff like this. There was just a meta-analysis done last year where they've looked at all available research and data and long-term studies, and they concluded that the amount of testosterone or HGH that you produce as a result of your training has zero anabolic effect. It has no impact on your long-term muscle gains over the course of several months. None at all. The only hormone that they found a correlation with that you people would normally be aware of would be cortisol. The more cortisol you produce from a workout over time, the more muscle you seem to gain. But testosterone and HGH do not seem to matter. And it's the same thing with any product that boosts testosterone production or HGH production. You're not, or even lifestyle factors that boost these up a bit. If you're already in the normal healthy range, there's literally no lifestyle factor or supplement you can take that will increase either of these hormones enough for you to gain a full pound of muscle over the next year. Period. So if people are going to obsess over these things, they're obsessing over drugs because there's nothing else you can do to boost them enough to make more gains. So people are basically obsessing over drugs because that's where they even get the ideas from the drug world. And let me make another point perfectly clear. Some of the comments in there made me realize a lot of people don't watch my Gear Talk series. So I would recommend that if someone wants to form an opinion on what I'm promoting and what I'm not, they need to at least watch some of my Gear Talk series, because I've made it perfectly clear that even though the majority of steroid users around the world are recreational, I do not support recreational use. If your goal is to do 1 or 2 cycles to look good at the beach, I don't want to give you advice. I don't want to help you because I think you're a moron. You're not dedicated, you don't have serious goals. I see gear use for people as a very serious commitment. I don't believe in cycling. I don't think coming off is a wise idea. It's very counterproductive for people to cycle on and off. I advocate blasting and cruising. I do not advocate teens using. I have stated repeatedly in my videos that I don't think anyone under 21 should even consider it because their endocrine system isn't done developing unless they're going to be able to make a living off of their physique or athletic performance as a result of it. So these are points I've made very, very perfectly clear. So anyone who is making a statement different than that has clearly not watched my Gear Talk series playlist. So put that in perspective. So going back to it, I'm not promoting people just recreationally use this stuff. I'm not promoting the idea that anyone should do it without doing tons of research first, or that they should do it for what I would consider to be the wrong reasons. And in all honesty, anyone who is really and truly committed to being a natural bodybuilder or a drug-free lifter or whatever, and they really don't want to use any drugs in their body, my advice to them would be forget about your testosterone levels. Forget about your HGH levels. There's literally nothing you can do to alter them enough to make a difference without drugs. Because if they fall too low below the normal range, guess what? The only thing that's going to put them up to where you need them is going to be drugs, and you can get that from your doctor at that point. And as far as putting them above the normal range, there's no product, no lifestyle factor, nothing that you can do that will put them above the normal range. And I gave you guys the example of how far above the normal range you really have to go to see any sort of dramatic difference in that video yesterday. So if you think that you're just going to boost your testosterone levels 20% and gain an extra pound of muscle this year over it, you're living in a fantasy world where Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny are real, because the science says you're not going to do it. That's not going to happen. That is not enough for you to make extra gains. You start increasing it 100%, yeah, 200%, 300%, sure, but there's no way that you can possibly do that without pretty much just injecting it right into your body. And that was the point I was trying to make with some of that, is that either you guys want to be natural or you don't. I don't care which people do. As long as you make an educated choice, I respect people in both groups who make great progress. They have nothing but my respect if they achieve their results and goals. But people want to skirt this line between the two, and they want to stay natural, but they want to focus on hormones that can only be boosted through drugs enough to make any difference, which is just silly. And the supplement companies are to blame to this for a large part, because they sell products to do these things, but the reality is they're selling you products that aren't going to give you the results you want other than a placebo. Alright guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you next time.